I'm Jennifer, 32 years old, and I live in the bustling city of New York. It's a place where hard work is seen as the key to success. My husband, Donnie, who's 30, works too. We've been married for 2 years. Donnie may come across as a bit unreliable at times, but deep down, he's incredibly thoughtful. He helps out around the house, and we've managed to divide the chores. I'm a driven woman, passionate about my career. I feel a sense of pride when I perform well at work. In this field, if you put in the effort, you can rise up, but it's not without sacrifices. The company might ask you to relocate, and if you're thinking about having a child, there's no official leave policy. Many women step back from their careers after marriage or kids. I once thought the same. I didn't plan to marry or have children because I was focused on climbing the corporate ladder. When Donnie proposed, I initially turned him down. I said, I love my job. I lead a team, and I want to keep advancing. I can't picture myself settling down or having children. But Donnie understood my priorities and reassured me that we'd share household responsibilities, and we wouldn't have kids. Eventually, his understanding won me over, and I agreed to marry him. Now, both of us work, and while we don't always split the chores perfectly, we try our best to help each other. And overall, I think we make it work. My in-laws sometimes make irritating comments like, "You should spend more time at home," or "When are you having kids?" But they don't bother me much since Donnie always has my back. Living with Donnie has been fulfilling, and I've come to appreciate being married. Then one day, my boss, the department head, called me with an offer to transfer to a new office. He said, "What do you think? You'd work at a branch for a couple of years, and then return to a higher position here. You might even become the first female department head. Sounds like a great opportunity, right?" This transfer could be my ticket to a promotion. Everyone who's moved up in the company has had to take a step like this. If I turned it down, I'd likely stay in my current role, but I could also get demoted. Before marriage, I would have jumped at the chance without hesitation. But now, as a married woman, I felt uncertain. I told my boss, "Thanks for considering me. I'm interested, but since it involves relocating, I'd like to discuss it with my husband first. Can I get back to you after that?" He replied, "Of course, take your time. You can choose to move with your family or go alone. Let me know what you decide." At home, I told Donnie about the transfer. I've been offered a job move. It might mean relocating to the countryside, but after 2 years, I could come back with a promotion. I'd love to take it if you're okay with it. We can either move together, or I can go solo. What do you think? Donnie seemed taken aback at first, but then considered it. "If you take this opportunity, Jennifer, you could achieve your dream. I can't move with you because of my job here, but don't worry about me. Go for it." With Donnie's blessing, I told my company I'd accept the transfer alone, and we worked out the details. They covered my moving expenses and offered additional benefits, like counting travel days as work days. I decided to take the transfer and chose to live in a company apartment abroad. On moving day, the movers took care of everything, and Donnie came to say goodbye at the station. "Thanks for seeing me off. I'll keep in touch and try to visit as much as I can." "I'll be waiting for you," Donnie replied. "Just don't overwork yourself, okay?" "I won't. You take care of yourself too." "It's time. Stay safe," Donnie said as he walked away. And so began my life as a remote worker. I planned to visit home during holidays and slow periods, but things at the branch office became challenging right from the start. One of the local employees voiced his dissatisfaction, saying, "I'm not taking orders from a woman. How can I trust someone new like her?" I faced resistance from the staff. They spread rumors about me, ignored my instructions, and wouldn't return my calls. It got worse when a project I was leading went off track due to one of my team members purposely leaving me out of the loop. The responsible subordinate looked shocked, but as the manager, it was up to me to handle the situation. I had to step in, fix the mistake, apologize, and not only put things back on track but also rebuild the team's trust. My boss noticed how tough things were for me and gave me some advice. "I've gone through a transfer myself, so I get it. It's not always fair, but you can't just bulldoze through. It's about communication and building relationships." Taking my boss's advice to heart, I spent more time connecting with the team and even joined the local neighborhood association. Soon enough, I was so busy I couldn't even think about going home to Donnie. I kept in touch with him, but after a few months, reaching him at night became harder. I'm working late because things are tough here. I get exhausted and just fall asleep, he'd say. I stayed focused on my work, not suspecting anything. Then, during a slower work period over a long holiday, I decided to surprise Donnie by coming home. But when I tried reaching him, I couldn't get through, so I left without telling him. When I arrived home and opened the door, something felt off. A woman I didn't recognize hurried to the door and said, "Justin, you're back early. I would have prepared if I knew." We both stood frozen, staring at each other. Finally, she asked, "Who are you?" "I live here," I replied. "This is my house," she said, confused. After a heated argument, we checked the house number. It matched my custom nameplate, and my key still worked. "This is my home," I insisted, pushing past her into the house. Inside, everything had changed. The furniture, curtains, photos, everything was different. I saw a photo of Donnie with the woman at a theme park and items I didn't recognize. Her toothbrush and skincare products were in the bathroom, and the bedroom had her clothes, not Donnie's. As I stood there in shock, I heard the door open. Donnie came in and said, "Oh, Lola, did you invite someone over?" Seeing me, he looked startled. "What are you doing here? Why is she calling you Justin? Explain this," I demanded. Donnie hesitated, looking uncomfortable. "Lola, his real name is Donnie. It's right there on his ID. I'm his wife, Jennifer." "That's impossible. He told me he was divorced." "Donnie, you need to explain everything," I insisted. "Jennifer, you were gone for so long, and I was lonely. I tried a dating app and met Lola," Donnie confessed. "Justin is the name I used on the app." "So, your name's not even Donnie?" I asked, stunned. "So, what's the deal? Why did you do that?" Donnie responded, "It's not what you think." I was afraid that revealing my real name could lead to complications, so I used a different first name but kept the same last name. "And why did you lie about being divorced?" I pressed further. According to Lola's profile, she'd never been in a relationship and was serious about marriage, which made me lie about being divorced to gain her interest. Donnie hesitated, then admitted, "We moved in together." "Why would you do that?" I was confused. My husband, sensing my frustration, tried to justify himself. "You're always away for work. It's only natural for a man to want company. We've been living apart because of your job. I wanted a home where you'd be there, waiting with dinner when I came back." I was stunned. I had always believed he supported my career. "But that doesn't make what you did right," I retorted. "If you wanted to be with someone else, you should have ended our marriage first. Why didn't you do the right thing?" "I didn't want to leave either of you," he muttered, guilt in his voice. "After everything, I was bound to find out." "Did you honestly think you could keep this from me?" I was in disbelief. "It's your fault for not coming back when you said you would," he shot back. "If you had, I never would have thought about cheating." "What?" I shouted, furious and hurt. "I told you how hard work has been for me, and you still did this?" The argument escalated, with my husband and I yelling at each other, while Lola stood there, stunned. She realized she had been tricked by a married man. So everything was a lie? "You made a fool out of me. I'm leaving right now," she yelled. "Lola, wait. It's not what you think." My husband pleaded, but it was too late. She pushed past him, disgusted. "Don't touch me," she spat. "I don't believe anything you say," and with that, she stormed out, grabbing her things and heading to her parents' house. Angry and betrayed, I decided to take action. I gathered evidence and hired a private investigator. The investigation revealed that Lola was the daughter of an executive at a company my husband worked with. I had a lawyer send evidence of the affair to both my husband's home and to Lola's parents. When Donnie received the documents, he protested, pleading that he didn't want a divorce. But I had already prepared for a lengthy legal battle. Lola's parents called my lawyer, and we arranged to meet. They expressed their apologies, and Lola admitted her mistakes. We had no idea this was going on, they said. Our daughter is very sheltered and naive. She met your husband without our knowledge, thinking he was divorced. She wanted a free-spirited relationship and ran away from home to live with him. We've been trying to arrange a proper marriage for her, but she got caught up in a fantasy. She's now getting therapy, and we're willing to offer you $50,000 as a settlement in hopes you'll keep this private. They shook my hand, and I responded, I'll accept the settlement, but there's one condition. I'm preparing for a divorce, but Donnie won't agree. If you're willing to cooperate and testify if this goes to court, then I'll accept. They agreed. We'll cooperate, but we don't want this on her permanent record. Is there any other way we can help punish him? I have an idea, I said. His company is one of our clients. In an unexpected twist, Lola and I joined forces. We planned to make my husband pay for his actions. His company was now facing a crisis because of the fallout with one of their important clients, and guess who was going to take the fall? My husband. Meanwhile, back home, my in-laws were still trying to contact Donnie, unaware of the mess he'd created. Jennifer isn't answering our calls. Is she so busy with work she's forgotten us? When is she coming home? We miss seeing our grandchild, his mother complained. Mom, you don't understand, Donnie confessed. I cheated on Jennifer while she was away, and now we're headed for divorce. His mother's response was shocking. That woman who cares more about her career than her husband is to blame. Maybe you should just divorce Jennifer and be with the woman you cheated with. My in-laws, assuming Lola's family was wealthier, sided with Donnie and his mistress, attacking me relentlessly. They called me incessantly, but I blocked their numbers. They even started calling my office, showing up at my workplace and causing a scene. Let go of our son. He'd be happier with the woman he cheated with. It's your fault for putting work before him, they yelled. What are you even talking about? I retorted. I want a divorce from Donnie, but he refuses. The woman he cheated with doesn't want him back. She was tricked into dating him, and her family is furious. This is going to be a mess. Once my in-laws realized that their son had angered a key client, they suddenly changed their tune. We didn't know it was this serious. We're sorry. Our son messed up, but he feels bad. You'll forgive him, right, Jennifer? They pleaded. I can't. You just insulted me, and now you're asking for forgiveness? Please leave, I told them firmly. When they refused, I had security escort them out. The disruption they caused led to my company suing them for interfering with business. After everything settled, I received the compensation from Donnie and finalized the divorce. Lola's family also sought compensation for their daughter's suffering and therapy costs. Now, with his job lost and forced to pay hefty settlements, Donnie was drowning in debt, unable to quit his job. He was trapped. 2 years later, after my assignment was completed, I successfully returned to the main office. My hard work paid off. I was promoted to department manager. If I hadn't taken that assignment, I might still be stuck in a miserable marriage. But I've come to realize that a man like him would have betrayed me eventually, and the tension with his parents would have escalated anyway. I've learned that work is where I thrive, and I'm finally fulfilled and content with my life now. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.